Hey YouTube, my name is Nick. In today's quick video, we're going to test to see if my Japanese GameCube games and my singular Japanese movie will work with my Panasonic Q. So currently, I have my Japanese copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee loaded. And in order to swap the discs, because I still haven't replaced the rubber band in the disk drive, and I haven't even greased up the rails that I replaced, since I haven't done those things, every time I want to swap a disc, I have to basically take off the top lid and the top lid of the disk drive. So like the whole top lid of the outside of the console and like the lid of the disk drive itself. I have to take both of those out every time I want to swap a new disc. So I'm not going to show the process of doing that every time because obviously that's not how you would do it if this tray was actually working properly. But basically, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit the power button, and we'll see if it will read my Japanese copy of Melee or not. So, console powers up as expected. The fact that it's not quite doing the GameCube boot animation leads me to believe that it thinks there's no disc in there. And you can kind of see it, like that's probably what that says on screen, is that there's no disc inserted or the disc couldn't be read. But as you can see, it does boot up at least to the BIOS menu, so again, this is why I purchased it. The clock battery is dead, I still have to replace it. It would, from like the inside perspective, the clock battery would be sitting like probably right about here or so, like somewhere in this area. And so it's not too difficult to replace. And I'll get to it at some point. I'll replace it so that I can actually set the time properly. And I'll probably install a replaceable one where you just pop the battery out. And so, yeah, what I'm going to do now is just to make sure that this is not a fluke in the fact that it can't read my discs. I'm going to take this thing apart, just the lid, and I'm going to put in my Japanese copy of Donkey Konga 3 next, and we'll see what it does. So flashing forward just a few seconds, you can see that I have my Japanese copy of Donkey Konga 3 taken out of its case, which I put into the Panasonic Q's disk drive, and there's my Japanese copy of Melee sitting there on the table. So I'm going to press the power button and we'll see what happens. Okay, the menu comes back up. I think it's just not going to be able to read it. Doesn't make any difference if I hit game reset, which would just reset the GameCube. No, it doesn't. What if I swap into DVD mode and then come back to GameCube? It probably won't work. So to access the DVD player functionality, there's this button on the top which says DVD/CD, and it's a little play button. Actually, I think I have to maybe power off the Q first to do that. I'm going to swap in my DVD movie and we'll see what happens, but clearly it does not seem to do anything. When I tried this months ago, because I actually did attempt this before, it sounded like the disc was spinning, although I did do something in the disc drive, which I'll show shortly if the DVD movie doesn't work. And it'll make more sense when I show what I did there. I'm going to try to remove or undo what I did because I noticed there was a problem in this disk drive, which I won't explain just yet, but yeah. Let's just try this movie first, see what happens, and then I'll explain exactly what I did and why this might not be reading like I thought it may or may not. So I took apart the Q again to the point where I could access the disk drive, and as you can see, I put my Japanese copy of this Gundam movie in there, and that's why I bought this. I bought this disc specifically so I could test this drive to see if it would hopefully read movies. And so yeah, I've never actually tested to see if it can read movies. I knew for a fact that it didn't read my GameCube games, at least my Japanese copy ones, and I'll explain why that might be in a second and what theory I have behind why it's not reading my discs. And to make a small correction before I continue, while I was correct that you could press the CD/DVD button on the Panasonic Q, it must be completely powered off in order to swap to that mode. So basically, to swap between the two modes, it must be in a completely off state like this, where this display is not lit up, and then you'd press the DVD CD button up here, and it will swap to DVD mode. And then when you want to go back to the GameCube, you just have to turn it off with the power button, and then press the game button, and it will swap to GameCube mode. And I'll showcase that once I see what happens here with this test. So without further ado, I'm going to hit the power button, and we'll see whether or not it reads my disc or not. Oh, and before I hit the power button, I actually did test this in my Blu-ray drive, so I know that this is not a faulty disc, and that it does work. So let's see what happens. It will say no signal unless if it can find the disc. Normally what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to fill all the way up to the right with all zeros if it reads it. Right now it's just flashing 1 0. It probably won't get further than that. I'll give it a little bit of time. It just gave up. Okay, so I'll turn this off, and I'll show you how you can swap to GameCube mode. So technically right now it's in DVD mode. That's why these ports are not lit up at all, because what's interesting about the Q is the way how it functions, and even the TV shut off. What's interesting about how the Q functions is that it's literally 2 systems combined into one. So literally the GameCube half of this console is completely separate from how the DVD drive functions, sort of. Like all the DVD drive components are like basically on the side here, and then the GameCube is like from here on down, but yet they share the same drive. And yeah, that's pretty much how it works. But anyway, to swap to GameCube mode, all you have to do is turn off the Q first. So it should say goodbye. This screen should shut off. And then you want to press game. And as you'll see in a moment, it'll boot up into the GameCube and the ports light up and such. So yeah, so I guess it's not too surprising that it didn't read my Japanese movie as well, considering that it couldn't read my games. But basically, what I think is the problem with this Panasonic Q is that in the disk drive, there's this thing known as a spindle. And so how the disk drive works is when you put the disk on it, there's a magnet that has to like kind of lift the disk up a little so that the laser can read the actual disk itself. But I noticed when I took this apart for the first time, there was a little bit of damage to the magnet where like it was starting to peel up a little. So what I did was, and this was maybe a really stupid idea, but what I did was I tried to patch it and fix it by like taping up the magnet. But because I taped up the magnet, I think it basically restricted how powerful that magnet was. And so it's not properly lifting the discs up because I'm restricting it with the stupid tape, which I should remove now. And so that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to have to take this apart again, and I'll look at the disk drive and try to remove that bit of tape that I put on it, see if it maybe works now. But it may or may not. There could even be problems with the laser itself. I really am not 100% sure. And there's really no way to prove it, really. So, yeah, that's just what I'm going to do now. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to take this apart again. And I'm going to remove what I've done, which I'm probably showing it up on the screen right now, what I've done to the disk drive magnet spindle. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to order some parts, and eventually I'm going to showcase how I'm going to attempt to fix this. Because there is actually a fix out there, but I don't think there's anyone who's actually documented this on YouTube yet, or at least shown how it may be possible to even do this in the first place. So I'm going to try to maybe be the first one to showcase how this fix could be done. Anyway, I'm going to stop here for a sec, and I'll write if removing the tape and cleaning it up had any impact on making it work. So if it does work, I'll probably show the footage like very shortly of it working. But just give me a few moments, and we'll see what happens.